Ladies, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. I am getting better and I thank you for the love you are showing to me. Africa, we need to take control over everything that has to do with us. Until then, the African can never move forward. And our leaders in the Sahel are doing everything possible to make this a reality. Abdoulaye Diop just gave us a very powerful revelation in Mali that the three nations, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, are working together to defend themselves from imperialists, from colonization, neo-colonialism. We know that we are not free. The African is still under colonization. And that this is giving them the chance to work together to set themselves free, because now they are one. So they don't need to call for help from one person, but they work together in order to give us the best. And they talked about what African Union came out openly to talk about when they heard what is happening in Mali per the media houses of France trying to spread propaganda, and that it is a shock to them because they were expecting African Union to at least come down to understand what is happening in Mali before coming out to call for the intervention of international whatever in Mali. So they are so disappointed, and we're all disappointed in African Union, because he made it clear to us that the people that are sponsoring these people, African Union is aware. Instead of African Union to fight against what these people are doing, to call for unity among all the African leaders, so together we can fight against people turning the continent into a playground so they can do whatever they want. They never did that, and they're always quiet. You haven't gone to Mali to know what is happening in Mali, but you could sit outside of Mali to determine what is happening there and what actions need to be taken in Mali. Have you seen how African Union works? See, Africa, until we take our own security into our own hands, we can never see a way forward. Africa, we need to be self-dependent. We don't need to continue to be dependent on other people. It's because we have lost that power to be fighting for our own sovereignty. That is the reason to which other people are doing everything possible to destroy whatever that we have, so that they can continue to be taking what they think belong to them.
Mali facing media and security challenges. A renewed commitment to sovereignty. Minister Diop affirms Mali's resilience and President Goua's strategic vision.
Here in Mali, so that your viewers are not mistaken, this is Mali. We are indeed in Bamako. That's it, and we are not surrounded. We are in complete freedom. The image that is portrayed of our country is so that you have the courage to come anyway and cross all these columns to arrive in Bamako safe and sound. We must thank you and take this opportunity to speak with you. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation denounced the hostile media campaigns targeting Mali and reaffirmed the country's determination to continue its march towards autonomy and stability. Holding this exhibition here is already an important signal in the geopolitical context that we know, because it consolidates the friendly and cooperative relations that Mali maintains with many of its partners, including strategic partners such as Turkey and Russia, and many other partners who are present with us today. And this partnership is also based on several dimensions. First, there is a historical dimension. In the past, from the Ottoman Empire to the Mali Empire, there have been strong relations between Turkey and Mali because our countries exchanged ambassadors in the Middle Ages. There was a Malian ambassador in Constantinople. We have to
recognize that there is a real media conspiracy against Mali. But despite everything, we are holding on and nothing will distract us from our goal, he declared firmly.
In a context of systematically organized media hype against our country. I was reading an article the other day where someone said that in France, in a single day, there were more than 40 publications concerning Mali. I believe that in this context of media war against our country, that this BAMEX can be held, even if that in itself is a response to show that Mali is not letting itself be distracted. Mali has a vision, Mali has a goal, because these phenomena are a distraction for us. So Mali has chosen to strengthen its defense and security. Mali has chosen to do so with sincere partners, partners who respect our country and partners who are not in neo-colonial scenarios but who are working to help us evolve. And I think that the best possible response is that not only do the Malian army and defense and security forces work every day to ensure the security of the entire national territory, but also to modernize our country. I think that we do not need to go and make propaganda. It is about looking at reality. This exhibition is a space for strengthening cooperation with some of our strategic partners. All of this demonstrates the importance of dialogue and solidarity between sovereign nations. The minister particularly highlighted the exemplary cooperation between Mali and Turkey, based on a convergence of visions. Mali and Turkey maintain solid bilateral relations because we share the same geopolitical and strategic visions, he recalled. Mali and Turkey are together because we share common values. Respect for the independence of our countries, respect for the sovereignty of our countries, respect for the political choices and development choices of our countries, as well as equity and justice in the international system and the defense of just causes in the world, including the Palestinian question. So that too has formed a basis for rapprochement between Turkey and Mali. In a context marked by asymmetric warfare and the fight against terrorism, Minister Job wanted to reaffirm President Assimi Goïta's desire to provide the Malian armed forces with the necessary means for their operational autonomy. This exhibition, and its holding, is also part of the desire of the transitional president, General Assimi Goïta, to ensure that our country's areas of action can be diversified, but also in line with his vision of modernizing and strengthening the capabilities of Mali's defense and security forces in a context of asymmetric warfare.
The time for dependency is over. Today, it is a question of sovereignty. Mali now has drones, and our defense and security forces know how to act autonomously. He stated with conviction
that Mali has had partners in the past in terms of defense and security, but these were partnerships that were based on concepts of dependency. These were partnerships that never allowed us to have the capabilities to defend ourselves with Turkey. The use of defense technologies will allow us to consider creating a defense industry for Mali and also ensure that Malians, the defense and security forces of Mali, can master these cutting-edge technologies. I would like to remind you that 7 or 8 years ago, the Malian army did not have a single drone. Today, we fly drones across the country. We conduct operations on these issues. It is always better to teach someone how to fish than to give them a fish every day. And the type of partnership we have with Turkey. We hope that we will gradually get ourselves to fish rather than continue to wait for Turkey to bring us a fish the next day.
People have the notion, and that is the reason to which France came out openly to tell Niger not to sell the uranium to Russia, because they think that if they do that, it's going to affect them negatively. It's going to affect them because they will not have influence in the Sahel. Look at how people are thinking, and they're not hiding whatever they are thinking. Everything they are planning, they make sure that they put it out there for we the Africans to know what they are saying. In this 21st century, you still sit there and treat us this way. They don't ever see us to be equal partners, no matter how much they say But in reality, these people always see us to be inferior, and that is the reason to which they still sit down and decide what we should do and what not to do. Because the resources in Africa do not belong to you. So why should you sit down to tell us what we should do with the resources and who we should sell these resources to? If these people actually see us to be in the same level with them, would they be treating us this way? Can they go to China, go to Russia, go to other nations to be telling them what to do, forcing and warning them? So the time is now for us as Africans to rise up. We are divided, and that is the reason to which all these things are happening. And the divide and conquer has always been the tactics they are using. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are saying that he who feeds you controls you, like Thomas Sankara rightfully said. And for that matter, we can't continue to allow other people to feed us because they keep on taking the resources that we need to use to benefit ourselves. And for how long will we continue to allow these people to come in the guise of helping us? They have never helped us. They were in Mali, they were in Niger, they were in Burkina Faso for decades, yet all these insurgencies were still going on. And now they came and they sacked them. And they are increasing it, making it look as if it's because they have left. That's why we're having this thing. Even when they were dead, they have never arrested a single person. This is the narrative they always create to the world, that we need them so they can solve our problems. But we have allowed them to come into the continent for decades now to solve the problems of Africa. And these people never did. So for how long will we continue to live our lives in the hands of other people? They haven't finished solving their own problems. And when they come here claiming they are coming to help us, it is because of their resources, not because they love us. That is the reason to which they are here. We know these things because all this information is out there. Their own people, their historians, their economists, their professors, everybody is coming out to tell us their main motive in Africa. And they are bent on making sure that the African never controls these resources. And it is our responsibility as Africans as well to fight. Because we cannot allow other people to continue to be doing whatever they want here in the continent. We must rise up and understand that freedom is not given, it is taken. If actually we want this freedom, we should be ready to fight for this freedom. Because nobody will give it to us. These people are not backing down. They are plotting sleepless night 24/7. They have people that are everywhere planning as to how to succeed in the Sahel. So we don't also have to sleep. We need to also see how best we can protect ourselves, because we've seen that all the attacks on Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, none is succeeding. And as they are proving to the world that we can do it, our leaders are always shaming them, making sure that all that they said don't happen. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are proving to them that they are capable. And the propaganda they are spreading, that there's chaos, there's this, there's that, isn't true. These fuel tankers were attacked. And like he said, there's no way they can say that there will be blockage of fuel to Mali. It will definitely come. But they have their people on the road that are making sure they bend these tankers so they don't get into Mali to cause this chaos for the world to see. But even if there is chaos in Mali, in Niger, and in Burkina, it is the responsibilities of these leaders to make sure they solve these problems that they are having in their countries, and not for us to call for other people to come here to solve the problem for us. African Union is a failed organization, because if there is something happening in Africa as an organization, we are expecting you to do something to set us free or to find solution, and not recalling on international body to come into the continent to set us free. Then there is no need for us to have this organization in the first place. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make African great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, and in Mali.